I never thought I'd tell the story, but since you asked, kid, I'll give you the truth. At least the parts I can remember. Some things, well, they get blurry after so many years. But the fear? That never fades. It was 1987, and I was living in a cramped apartment on the south side of town. The kind of place where the walls were too thin and the locks didn't do much to keep trouble out. I worked nights at a warehouse, moving crates and watching the clock, counting the hours till sunrise. But that night, the hours stretched long and dark, the air thick with something I couldn't name. I got home around 3 in the morning. The hallway smelled like old carpet and cigarette smoke, same as always. But when I unlocked my door, I knew something was wrong. The air inside was different, still like someone had been holding their breath. I stepped inside, slow, careful. The only light was the red glow from the alarm clock by my bed. And then I saw it, saw him. A man stood in the corner, dressed in black, his face half hidden by shadows. My heart slammed against my ribs. I thought about running, about fighting, but my body froze. Then he spoke, and his voice was smooth, too smooth, like a man who had done this before. "Sit down," he said. I didn't move. He took a step forward, and I saw the glint of a knife in his hand. Now. So I sat. My mind raced. Who was he? A burglar? No, he hadn't taken anything. A killer? If so, why was I still breathing? He tilted his head, studying me. "You work at Harper and Sons, right?" "The warehouse." My stomach twisted. "Yeah. I need something from you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper, slid it across the table. "Tomorrow night, you're gonna leave the back door open." I felt the blood drain from my face. He wanted me to help him rob the place. I swallowed hard. "If I say no?" He smiled then, slow and deliberate, and pointed the knife at my chest. "You won't." I don't know how long he stayed, only that when he left, I couldn't move for what felt like hours. The next night, I stood outside the warehouse, key in hand, heart hammering. I could run, call the cops, but he knew where I lived, so I did what I had to do. I left the door open. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't sleep for a long time after. The next morning, the news said the warehouse had been hit. Stolen goods, no suspects. My boss ranted and raged, but no one ever figured out who did it. And me? I kept my mouth shut. A week later, an envelope showed up at my door. No name, no return address. Inside was $5,000 in cash. Blood money. I never spent a dime of it, just shoved it in a drawer and tried to forget. But some things, kid, some things you never forget. And every now and then, when the night is real quiet, I swear I can still hear his voice, whispering from the shadows.